You are listening to That's Life, a One Love media production.
Welcome to another episode of That's Life, the podcast where we dive into life's messy, magical moments. I'm your host with the most, Kyle Fields, and today we're taking a trip down that rabbit hole to discuss the complex dynamics of dating. Yes, I said dating. We'll talk about the good tales of romance, the cringeworthy encounters, and those sneaky links y'all act like is such a secret when in fact everybody knows about it. Now, whether you're single, in a relationship, or living your best it's complicated life, this episode is for you. So, fasten your cognitive seatbelts as we brace ourselves for a ride on the love coaster of doom. Or is it the doom coaster of love? Who cares? On to the first segment. Segment 1. The good stuff. Or, as I like to call it, Kenny Chesney. Anyways, let's start with the good dates. The kind that make you believe in love again. Like the way Big Stud Swayze made Jennifer Grey feel when he lifted her out of the water. Or the way Bender makes Claire feel at the end of The Breakfast Club. These are the dates where everything just clicks. And for a brief moment, it feels like the stars aligned just for you. And who says they didn't? Believe it or not, science says good dates are dopamine masterpieces, igniting the neural circuitry of our brain's pleasure zones. Authentic connection, however, is more cerebral, tapping into the realm of cognitive resonance. But what makes a date genuinely good isn't the chemistry, or at least not just the chemistry. It also has to do with compatibility, shared values, and active listening. Here's something fascinating. Research shows that when two people laugh together on a first date, they're more likely to feel a deeper connection. Humor creates a bond, signaling comfort and mutual understanding. So, whether you're sharing a laugh over a podcast you both love that coincidentally rhymes with bat's knife, or because you simply misjudged the positioning of your chair and pulled the tablecloth off while you were trying to sit down, making everything on the table come off on top of you. Just know, she might not date you, but you'll definitely have a bond for life with her. So, where does society fit in to good dates? Well, culturally, we love a good story. From rom-coms to fairy tales, society celebrates the moments when two people connect effortlessly. But in real life, good dates aren't about perfection. They're about authenticity. In today's dating culture, and especially after everything we had to endure with COVID, there's also been a shift towards intentionality. People are more mindful of who they spend their time with. And dating is finally getting back to being about quality over quantity. As we talk about good dates, let us look and see what the Bible says. The Bible reminds us of the beauty of love and connection. First Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Therefore encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing." A good date should inspire growth and mutual joy, a reflection of God's design for relationships. I think it's time to tell you a story. One time, I went on a date where we spent hours debating superhero movies. It wasn't fancy, but it was honest. And isn't that the point? I've also heard stories from friends about dates where a simple walk in the park turned into hours of deep conversation. Sometimes the best dates are the simplest. So, what can you do to ensure that you have more good dates than not? Well, one, be yourself. The right person will appreciate the real you. Number two, choose a low pressure setting. Focus on the connection you're trying to build, not the backdrop. Number three, stay curious. Ask questions. Listen deeply. And just let the conversation flow naturally. Number four, set realistic expectations. A good date doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to feel right. Segment 2. The bad and the awkward. Now, let's talk about bad dates. The ones that make you wish you'd stayed home and reorganized your sock drawer. Bad dates often result from misaligned expectations or poor communication. Our brains are hardwired to detect discomfort, which is why a bad date can sometimes feel physically draining. Did you know that anxiety can actually heighten our perception of those awkward moments? So, if you've ever felt like your bad date was the worst date ever, it's partly because your brain is amplifying those negative emotions. What does society have to say about bad and awkward dates? Well, first off, let's just say social media pressures us to curate a perfect life. But bad dates are a universal experience. They remind us that even in a world of dog filters and hashtag thug lives, real life is messy. And let's face it, you're not going to get a 16 candles ending to every date. In James chapter 1 verses 2 and 3, it encourages us to consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Okay, maybe James wasn't thinking about dating disasters, but even bad dates can teach us patience, humility, and resilience. One time I had a date who spent the entire time explaining that their detailed theory on why Bigfoot exists I should also believe. I wasn't sure whether I should laugh, run, or start Googling what is cryptozoology. I've also read stories of dates where one person forgot their wallet or spent the evening texting someone else. Talk about cringeworthy moments. So, what can you do if you find yourself stuck on a bad or awkward date? Well, number one, keep your cool. Humor can diffuse very awkward moments. Number two, have an exit strategy. A friend's fake emergency call might just save the day. Number three, stay polite. You never know who they might know, and you never know what they are going through personally. So, always, as a rule of thumb, stay polite. And number four, learn from it. Every experience, even the bad ones, can teach you something. Segment 3, knowing how to get rid of a dangerous date. Let's be real. Sometimes bad dates aren't just awkward, they can feel unsafe. Knowing how to protect yourself is crucial in today's dating world. So, right now, I am going to give you some tips that I know you'll love to ensure that you are safe. One, share your location. Always let a trusted friend or family know where you are. And if the date starts to get bad from there, start giving your trusted people regular text updates so that way they know where you are in case anything should happen. Number two, set up a code word. Agree on a phrase with a friend that signals you need help. I need to use the bathroom. My salad is not good. My steak is too done. You are a creep. Okay, maybe not that one. It's a little too obvious, but you get the point. Number three, stay sober and stay alert. If you're going to drink, keep your beverage in sight at all times. Do not let it leave your sight, your hands, nothing. If you are going to go to the bathroom, take it with you. Or you can ask a bartender, if it is not too busy, to watch your drink while you use the bathroom or do whatever you have to do. And number four, trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't ignore it. You know, I've had women who have told me these stories about keeping pepper spray, tasers, and other deterrents in their bag during a first date, just in case. And thankfully, they didn't need it, but why in 2025 do we still feel the need, or women still feel the need, to be prepared like that? In Psalms 46:1, it reminds us that God is our refuge and strength and an ever present help in trouble. While we trust in God's protection, it's probably also wise to take practical steps to ensure our safety. Segment 4: The Stories We Don't Tell. Now we have gotten to the dates that we keep hidden. The ones that really make you question your life choices. These aren't just bad dates, they're cautionary tales. You know, embarrassing or bizarre dates often stay with us because they tap into our primal emotions like fear and shame. These memories are a reminder of our humanity and our need to laugh at ourselves. Nothing is funnier than the walk of shame, especially if she lives next to or close to someone you know. Yeah, I'm sure Jeremy is still laughing 10 years later about the time I had to do the walk of shame from this girl's house who had a face only a mother could love. Or just keep it like that. Speaking of Jeremy, I wonder if he still remembers I owe him a phone from the day that I broke his. Don't worry, folks. Had nothing to do with that walk of shame. I swear. Did I ever tell y'all the time someone brought a puppet to a date? Yeah, an actual puppet. I didn't know if I was talking to them or their felt covered alter ego. No, to everyone assuming right now, she was not the walk of shame girl. So, nice try being judgmental. Anyways, here are some helpful tips for dealing with a date that you would rather forget. Number 1, laugh it off. Life is too short to dwell on the cringe. Number 2, share the story. It might be the highlight of someone's day, or great content for a certain podcast you may listen to. Wink, wink. And number 3, move forward. Every date brings you closer to finding what you truly want. Just because this one didn't work out doesn't mean the next one will be a bust. So, what did we learn today? Well, we learned that good dates remind us of the joy of connection. Bad dates are life's way of teaching us resilience and giving us great stories. And the untold stories, well, they remind us that life, love, and dating are all about bracing the unexpected. Whether you're searching for love or just trying to survive the dating world, remember this. Every experience shapes you. It's all a part of the journey. I would like to welcome you back next week. And actually, I say next week, but this is going to be published on the same day as next week's, aka it's going to be today. Anyways, our next episode, we are going to be talking about setting boundaries and why no is not a dirty word. So if you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, be sure to join the discussion on Facebook and learn about upcoming shows and events. Until next time, do you, but do it with love and affection. I'm Kyle Fields, and that's life.